This is a story of how I became the last dragon in Trailblazers Reloaded. Why would I do such a thing? To answer that question, I knew I had to do something unique and interesting. Hopefully, garner interest in this quiet channel that at this moment, only I really cared about. If you look at the high scores, it will show you that I failed miserably. But did I really? So how did we get here? I originally wanted to do progress videos daily. That proved to be way more difficult than I anticipated. Eventually, I realized too that most people won't care about a league's progress series on a small channel, unless I had a gimmick, like going for rank 1. I had delusions of grandeur for a high leagues placement that lasted a few days. There was no chance for me to compete at in that stage, maybe another time. OSRS content creation is tougher than I thought it'd be. I should have honestly given up months ago. I'd just gone back to playing the game for fun, without worrying about content creation like I used to. Surely, that begs another question. Why did it take so long to put out a video? Everybody's moved on with their lives, bro. WTF? Excellent point, my good sir. I'm determined to make this channel grow, but coming up with a niche and making interesting videos is hard. So that takes us to this folder. What is Leagues in Old School RuneScape? It's an extremely fun, temporary game mode. You get Leagues points by completing tasks. By accumulating points, you can move to another tier to unlock relics and areas. You can think of relics as power-ups, not available in the main game. This was my first league, so I had no clue what I was doing. To make matters worse, never played an iron, by the way, or never played a by the way. And even though this was the easiest year to get dragon, there weren't that many overall who stuck it through and acquired the coveted trophy. According to the high scores, it shows that only 12,740 earned enough points to call themselves a dragon. 356,923 had enough points to make it to the high scores in terms of league points. Looks like the requirement to make it on the high scores was a meager 100 points. Using the numbers mentioned, we find that there were only 3.57% made it to the dragon rank. This is important to mention in terms of the dragon rank because in previous years it required a lot more. It required being in the top 1% to make it to dragon. Fortunately, this time around it was static, and anyone with enough free time and or dedication could have had it. There were 7 trophies available in Trailblazers Reloaded: Bronze, Iron, Steel, Mithril, Adamant, Rune, and Dragon. There were 56 total days of playtime available. That means you had to get 1,000 points a day to get Dragon. I had around 12 days in-game playtime for the total duration of leagues. That equates to spending 21.4% of real time out of 56 days in-game. To be honest though, a good strategy could have completed this in a fraction of the time. I think 6 to 8 days in-game playtime was very feasible for experienced players, which isn't even that bad considering how fun leagues can be. I'll just recap the interesting things about different days. We had to get started correctly. Good character appearance was of the utmost importance. The next critical junction in this journey was choosing a relic. Production Prodigy started things off very slowly, but it was our choice. However, it seemed the strongest for playing really late into the league. Slayed a cow quickly to assert our dominance over Lumbridge. Failed to cook meat, but gained points. Just want to mention quickly that a lot of the tasks weren't that exciting, so we'll just kind of jump to the ones I found interesting or fun, or the ones I found especially unfun. The sewers proved to be a challenge. At least 10 points were required in Death's domain. Professed my love to a servant. Got rejected. Pretty much every league's video I've seen featured these lines. Sitting in that line only took a few minutes for 10 points. Day 2, it was time to decide on the next relic. In hindsight, I think Fairy's Flight was stronger. Globetrotter allows you to tally to spellbook and jewelry places. Fairy's Flight allowed for tellies to spirit trees, farming leprechauns, and fairy rings. Globetrotter was the decision we made, but it was churned for 10 points. I think it was a maturity of the player base that allowed for these lines. You'd see nothing like this anywhere else. Got revenge on the Moss Giant that took us down on day 1. Level 25 combat achieved. This then allowed us to choose our next area. I think Desert would have been the stronger choice, but we did choose Kandarin, and it did feel like a grind. Really enjoyed these animations that came with the leagues. Hope they do more stuff like this. This guy kept messing up my kill. Despite him and in spite of him, finally dropped the Tsar. This was the Tier 3 relic unlock. There was massive contention between the banknoters and the fire sailors. Fire sailors had massive boosts early. The banknote was very strong in the late game. Banker's note was our choice. Entered the Cook's Guild for 40 points. A lot of the easier points were 10. The 40-point tasks were slightly more challenging. I was flinching that war tortoise for a long while. This guy came in and attacked it. Member, farmer, guard, pickpocketed, kleptomaniac. Completed Waterfall and Fight Arena. These quests are famously rushed on new accounts. Ran out of supplies, so I ended up kicking hopeless creatures. This felt very wrong on a spiritual level. Soul's Bane quest completed. Day 3. Professed my love again and got rejected. Tier 4 decision time. We had to choose Superior Sorcerer because I knew I was gonna choose Desert. Superior Sorcerer buffed magic attack, speed, and damage. Finally, was strong enough to beat this war tortoise without flinching. This was the second area unlock of 3. We went to Wilderness because I absolutely love it there. It's the best place in the entire game. I know most of the player base hates this, but love to see the best moneymaker there. Time to go for easy points in the new area. This bar was named after a famous player who passed away. He was known for being very friendly and very skilled. Colinello did a 4-minute documentary on him. That'll be linked. Crying in a wheat field. This was a funny task. I wonder what they meant by it. It may have been referencing a harvest festival in the UK. Got all level 5s in BA. People hate it here, but I really enjoy it. For their tier 5 relic, Treasure Seeker was the best for points. It needs to be mentioned that doing clue scrolls on a new account is a nightmare. This made it so much easier. So I got the Amulet of Avarice. This guy then ran back after I got it. I thought he might want to try to drop me, but he just wanted to congratulate the drop. He ran back to tell me to put the amulet on. Really friendly guy. My outfit does suggest a severe degree of incompetency. This guy dropped me for the lulz, so I kept dragging him and eventually he left. Production Prodigy and Banker's Note caused a lot of suffering early in the leagues because I had no gold. Revenants were relieving the gold issue ever so slightly, but it was still a recurring theme. Was ending the day with some nice black demons AFK and got sat down. We did in fact get the level 5s before the torso. You don't see that too often. There was some nice tasks in Tree Gnome Stronghold. Tier 6 relic unlock. It seems like we're pretty far in zooming. There were still massive grinds ahead and everything so far has been pretty easy. We got the tier 6 by finishing a lap in the wilderness and then equipping a dragon scimitar. I really wanted to go for max DPS, so I went Ruinous Prayers, and I do regret this decision. Farmer's Fortune was by far the strongest choice. It made the farming grind non-existent. Sea Slug quest completed. In one scene with Kent, he knocks off a slug. That slug can then be telegrabbed, and I'm pretty sure that it's only the slug that Kent knocks off. I tried to telegrab other slugs. I just wanted to mention it because this could have been useful with the Berserker relic, and I don't think anybody mentioned it or knew about it, but I also don't know if it was a viable item to continuously reduce HP. 3 medium clues stack. Got a few minutes worth of pop-ups out of it. These pop-ups aren't as exciting as they are in the main game. When I see other people get a pop-up they've been grinding for a decent while, or even a spoon, I sorta get second-hand excitement. That feeling quickly waned in leagues. Day 7. Finally had enough points to unlock the final area. Had to go desert because it was strongest for mage builds. Naturally got some quest unlocks. It was really nice to cast ancient magics. It made things a lot easier with blood barraging and AFK. Had to test the new spells at Artio. Followed it up with another quest. Quests usually offered points and XP. It was really good to get them done. This outfit looks pretty cool. Day 8. Entered the Fishing Guild. Still had lots of easy tasks. left. Finally took on the fight caves. Super compost filled. Oh my god! There's no way! There's literally no way! Let's go! Let's go! No shot. 99 mage achieved. Changed the design for these recently. They now look like this. Thinking back, the desert should have been the first unlock. Crafting store in Al-Kharid would have solved so many of the problems we had in the early stages. Day 9 got runner boots. Basically was just missing the pet at BA. Some people claim to really like to squirk. The word squirk is somewhat of a perverse sounding word. This place became a meme because of it. I actually really struggled with this place, but I did have quite a bit of fun. There was an odd rule. You had to turn all of the squirt juice in at once, for some of them. Day 10. I'm a cutscene enthusiast. I really enjoyed the cinematic cutscenes. Old School RuneScape has a lot of memorable and fun ones. Just this tree. These birds were funny. Honestly, the artwork of this hand is really interesting. It's an old man gnome hand. Still interesting nonetheless. Feels wrong, but it feels right. I think this quest was well done. This was weird. I don't know if anybody else had this problem, but I had like 1,000 KC when I showed up here. I think some people mentioned that KC carried over between leagues, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Casted Ice Barrage a few days ago. Finally realized I hadn't cast Ice Blitz or Ice Rush. Free run break and points. Drank the tears, Gothics. Basically, I spent the whole day at Mage Training Arena. It had the leagues boost. Even still, it was a grind. Day 12. This is one of the few places Banker's Note shined early. Feel like this would have been absolutely miserable without it. There's nothing like completing a miserable grind. This place isn't that bad. It just felt like it ate up too much time. Suddenly, we got the tier 7 relic. Should be really easy to make it to Dragon at this point, right? Right? Berserker was the best relic to go with. A lot of people say the relics were balanced, but in my opinion, it was a real mistake if you didn't choose this one. Personally, very glad that Revenants quieted down. The Revenant boss was killable without interference. Overall, the Wilderness experience was very laid back at this point. Fagor's Chain Mace acquired. Got the subsequent points for it. Died using the new relic. And I was in a complete panic mode because the Wilderness was wonky at first. Day 13. Abyssal Sires were packed. This was done on an Australian world in a spot I don't usually use. This was stupid, trying to kill these things for the drop. Fortunately, we realized that before doing this too long. It was better buy the Tsar items from the shops. This was really exciting to get. It made the Desert Hard Clue step a lot easier. Eagle's Peak completed. This allowed us to use box traps. 50 hard uniques for 200 big ones. Chopped a Sulasep. You had to turn off fossils, otherwise it would take forever to get this 40-point task. Lairon's Key opening. Was glad to get Dagon High and got 200 big points from it. 200 collection log slots. This one took me by surprise. Daddy's Home quest completed, and the fun cutscene. Originally, I thought it very stupid they buffed Soul Wars, but I'm really glad they did. They capped the amount of XP you could get here at first, then they removed the cap. Fortunately, it made things a lot easier later on. 35 million magic XP, no pop-up recorded. Had to do solo fishing trawler because the teams were really bad. Got the angler's outfit and we were done. This was another place. Banker's Note came in clutch. Took a lot more clicks to do rune crafting without it. We're selling the nature runes at Ali's shop in Al-Kharid. Day 16 begins. 99 cooking for big 200 points, 250, and then 500 black chin chompers equipped for massive points. Had to use the black chins at Maniacal Monkeys. This was really nice XP. Got the Granite Shield from BA Gambles for 80 points. This is the first time I've ever done this. Earned some colored logs. The Occult Necklace offered massive DPS at the time. It used to offer 10% damage boost. They nerfed it recently, so now Kandarin isn't that strong for mage builds. Day 17, your eyes are okay. This footage is just bad. Leagues had quieted down enough to finally get a good spot at Abyssal Sire. We got the pet. The 200 points you get that you don't expect were immensely gratifying. Took Bryophyta down to the ground for points. Got the essence and equipped the staff. Obar was next. Some of this felt kind of not worth it in terms of point/time. Serpent brew made, and 2,000 total achieved. This was an interesting task. You have to complete Desert Treasure 1. Your character then mentions Zeros, and it pisses off the wise old man. Day 19 was able to do some real AFK content. Honestly spent the next few days here. On day 22, got 94 mining. Ended up doing a lot of the clues that got stacked from the mining grind. 111 beginners, 7 hards. Got a lot of pop-ups for this because we had Treasure Seeker. This got us some easy caskets and easy points. 560 points to rune. This is around the time I felt like I was running out of time, but it hadn't really sunk in how little time was left, especially as more time went by. 100 light orbs blown and 200 magic logs fletched for 400 points. Day 23. Nothing too eventful happened. Couldn't play much either. Day 24. Started off at Magic Trees. Forestry points achieved. And this took me by surprise. They made an update so you got points automatically for combat tasks. You had to click tasks to then be awarded the combat achievement points. I found this so bewildering at the time. Without too much hesitation, Undying Retribution was chosen. It does massive damage when you die. It's really strong when coupled with Berserker. Finished chopping magic logs, and this concludes day 24. Day 25. Finally got 99 mining. This was all done at Stars. Then completed Contact and Cursed Sands. This unlocked TOA. Day 26. Completed a 150 at TOA. This was my second time solo completing a TOA raid. Haven't done this too many times and honestly don't know the content too well. Thread of Eldinis. I really need to get this item in the main game. Built a walker canoe. Used to use the canoe system a lot more. Obelisk and POH pretty much made it redundant. Okay, this was dreadful. Kept asking people to help me at Edgeville Bank, hoping to cast a Serpent strike on them to complete the Wilderness Achievement Diaries. Fortunately, some guy did. I didn't know you couldn't splash though, and we said our goodbyes. Was frankly very worried because the wilderness was extremely quiet at this point in leagues. Fortunately, found someone after hopping a few different bosses. That completed the hard Wilderness Achievement Diary. Then got us some nice and easy herb lore experience. Day 27. Nothing too significant to report. Stacked up on 17 easy clues. Was pleasantly surprised by another 200 point task. Gold Apron. This would be a big deal in the main game. Day 28. This seems like it would be an easy task, but it was difficult. The reason it was difficult was because you need lantern oil from the chemist in Remington. Master Clue Scroll completed. You need making history quest completed to get that orb, but I didn't realize you can also get the orb in Lumbridge. Day 29. Down to Revenant Boss. The Revenant caves were completely dead at this point. Nobody came here anymore. It was kinda sad. 25 million HP. Crossbow would be massive in the main game. I'd say for leagues, the real excitement comes when getting the mega rares from raids. Crossbow equipped. 50 million magic XP. The 400 point tasks are always very significant. A decent chunk of the 400 point tasks can be real nightmarish. This was worth it though. Glad this one got done. Day 30. It was my complete intention at this point to complete the Voidwaker Blade and then head to TOA for the Sumican Shadow. Grinded some Venenatus first and got the Fangs to upgrade the cross to a Web Weaver. Had pretty much everything in the wilderness at this point and was sitting on some points. Treasonous Ring, Ursine Chainmace, and the Web Weaver equipped for 600 points. Got the Tyrannical Ring and equipped it for 200. Points seemed like they were flying in. Voidwaker equipped for 200. 99 farming achieved. Okay, it might not seem like a hard task, but this was very difficult, especially if you went Ruinous Prayers. Kraken task finally. These Kraken tasks were rare and some people were struggling trying to get them. 99 Slayer for 200 points. Day 31. Not much happened this day. Made some prayer potions. Completed a 300 TOA. Thought I was strong enough to do 500s. I was not. Getting this recording, it was a mistake. For days 32 to 37, I just spent these days dying at TOA, trying to complete a 500. At this point, I hadn't mastered Red Xing Baba or Butterflying Akka. I also couldn't do Wardens without dying. Eventually, I realized I had to get back to grinding. There wasn't enough time to learn. Dragonstone, 80 points. Odium Shard acquired. The Wilderness Shield would be nice and easy points to get done. 200 combat achievement points acquired. The combat achievements were very easy during leagues for the most part, if you knew the content. Got the last piece needed to complete the shields. Made the shields and equipped them for 400 points. Actually, this was the first time I've ever done that. Day 39, wanting to get grinds out of the way that I knew would not be enjoyable. Tempros was one of those grinds with little joy. 20 magic potions made. 2100 total achieved and checked a dragon fruit tree in Catherby for 200. Day 40. No leagues points earned. Day 41. Managed to grind out some Temperos. The Temperos grind was very demotivating for some reason. Think my head wasn't in the right place for leagues after realizing there wasn't a good chance to get the Tumikin Shadow. There was nothing to show for day 42 or day 43. Day 44, still at Temperos. I still hadn't realized that Kromjo was a play for easy cooking XP. I then had to abandon Temperos. Getting 200 KC was taking way too long. Managed to get 100 KC before leaving. Doing Herbivore was vitally important to get Herblore XP. Day 45, still at Herbivore. That's 99 Hunter. 150 Herbivores caught. Volcanic Mine minigame completed. Actually found a cheese method for easy points. Got really lucky and mined a runite ore in a solo. Volcanic Mine was quick, fortunately. Day 46. Got 99 construction and another 200 points. Day 47. Okay, there's 9 days left. It hits me that we were way off the goal and it was a scramble. Pretty dense. It hit me with 33,870 points and nearly 22.13k points left to dragon. I was in a real predicament. Stacked 103 easies, 1 master, nothing too exciting. Did a lot of pop-ups, around 10 minutes worth. Realized it would take way too long to do 75 plunders, so I had to end at 25. 99 thieving achieved. Day 48. Easy points at Soulworth. 99 attack, 99 range, 126 combat achieved, 99 prayer. Good start to day 48. Elder Chaos Druids were nice and easy AFK. This would have sucked with zombie pirates. 200 points, kinda worth it, felt like a quick grind. But it wasn't. 925 kills and that did take quite a bit of time. Defeated Artio 300 times. This took a while too, but it was extremely AFK. Finished Spindle off 150 times. 25 million defense XP. Got the Venonata Spiderling pet. Actually have a series about going for this pet. People don't seem to like it that much. We're at 300 KC. Did Vedion in 50 times. Day 49. Got a Ring of the Gods for 200 points. Died trying to get Hound Skip 150 times. Actually dreaded Vedion. This was not AFK. These clips are just showing the Hound Skips. It was a bit finicky and unreliable due to the electric shocks on the floor, but it was extremely fun coming up with this. Hound skips are known, but I didn't see anybody do this. Died a bit trying to perfect it. Finally got 300 KC and we were out of there. Went to KBD and hoped for a Draconic Visage. Fortunately realized that was a long shot. 99 rune crafting. We're zooming. 45 million XP. Very nice and easy with Banker's Note and Production Prodigy. 20 Karambons in a row. This was easy with cooking cape. The last bit of XP had to go buy fish at the Karambon store. If this wasn't done, there was no way to get 50 million XP fast enough. 1,000 rune dart tips made, 70 fire making. It's so weird having this be the lowest skill at day 49. This was cool in my opinion. The Wilderness has the longest east-west line without obstruction. Frankly didn't see anybody do this. Maybe JCW did, not sure. Base 80s was worth 200 points. 2,200 total with another 200 points. Points were flying in. Got 99 fire making. Felt extremely fortunate that the Undying Retribution method wasn't patched or altered here. There would have likely have been no time to get all the points we needed without this method. Day 50, this was a very long day. Full degen hours were played. Regrets were not made. Got really unlucky going for the poison ivy seed. These scout tubers are janky in the main game. They were in leagues initially. This task I was fretting over because I don't know that much about Tide Boy One-Eye content. This is the first time I've ever seen a lucky. I heard a rumor that a JMod needed to get this task, but failed to do so in the final moments, so they decided to make the dragon rank static. Eternal gem acquired, actually very rare in leagues. I'm certain there's people who went extremely dry for it. 99 crafting at the gem stall. I wish I chose this place first. Giant's Foundry was worth it in this scenario, even if it wasn't the fastest. 500 collection log slots. Day 51. Got the rest of the points I could at Giant's Foundry. Forestry, this was a hard event at the time. You needed someone to have the event items. Realized eating would be good at the Jad challenge in terms of points. And I was right. 1 down, 2 down. And speed task, the first try. 3 and 4 Jads down. All of these were first try. 5 Jads. Died a few times here. I died for 48 minutes trying to get the 6 Jad challenge done. My strategy was to kill the first one with Undying Retribution to then make it only 5. Even with 5, it was still quite the challenge. Tried to look at guides for the Special Leagues challenge. I didn't have enough time. There were a lot of points to be had during the Jad challenges, and they were all very easy. Day 52, 400 points for base 95s. Agility Arena was nice in AFK. Adamantite were mined for 80 points. Gothic's teammate. Spirit Tree Fairy Ring combo belt. 25 million XP achieved for 200 points. 150 Abyssal Sires for 200 points. Really worried about not getting the bludgeon. Fortunately, we got it. Facing Jad head on. Thought I'd need the bludgeon to be able to complete this. It was unnecessary. The Berserker DDS to Voidwaker was the best bet. Never ever been to these wyverns. Knew they'd be quick. Decided to go back to Sire to get the rest of the 300 KC done. 300 KC at Demonic Gorillas, 500 KC. Began to slowly get better at it, and was more reliably dropping 3 at once. Was hoping to complete the ballistas. Instead, we were at least able to equip all of the Zenite jewelry. Ended day 53 in the fight caves. Started day 54 right back. Had to go with quick, reliable points for the time being. It was around this time I was contemplating Inferno attempts. Had virtually no room to fail. It's kind of unfortunate. Checked a mahogany tree. This was the last of the farming that could be done. 25 million farming XP. 25 million prayer XP. Soul Wars really was clutch. Non-boss Kraken down for 80 points. 300 Kraken boss KC, and Kraken was done. Goal scored in Gnome Ball. Last piece of Dagenhai necessary. Was actually worried about this. Slayer was still very good points at this stage. I was rounding points off at this stage and planning the last point task would need. It was gonna be 50 million defense. I just wanted to apologize for the smush clips. Thanks for putting up with them. Day 55. Someone asked me how I got so many points without doing raids. All you had to do was go for the easy but grindy PVM points and focus the skills for your relics. A lot of the relics complemented the skills very well. Did it after more than 10 hours of woodcutting. We maxed the RuneScape account for the first time. This put us within 200 points of 56,000. We had to delay points until the last login session available before the update. Atkin cries. I'm going to set my alarm for a few hours, and if the wind is too bad, then I have to just send it. Right now, I have more than enough points. More than enough. I mean, the winds are supposed to be bad. I have to chance it because my life is nothing without risks. The last day of recording. The last of Trailblazers Reloaded. Everything seemed fine. People were congregating in Lumbridge and the Grand Exchange. They were flexing their XP and achievements. I flexed my points in Lumbridge and got a few great remarks. No way you're delaying points until the end. 200 points below Dragon? Get one more task, man. I don't think it's gonna happen, to be honest. I want to be the last dragon. That's definitely gonna backfire. He's gonna DC before he gets the last 200. That's my luck. But it would be epic if it happens. It was nice spending last moments of leagues here. We were gonna get the points we needed. The power wasn't gonna... My account's been hacked twice. I've been scammed multiple times by people I trusted. Valve for lures. Been backstabbed dozens of times in the wilderness. Each time I lost massive progress. Breaks from the game. Many times afterwards. I have deep-seated trust issues because of this game that have yet to be resolved. I've had similar experiences in life. Had massive effort destroyed by others. And I've destroyed many by myself. I watched ships set sail to never return to port, bridges burnt and not rebuilt, doors closed permanently, dug so deep I couldn't get back out without help. Each of those feelings were very similar to this, the gut-wrenching, demoralizing feeling when all your efforts were nothing but vanity. This time, it was all my fault. No affliction to blame, nobody else to blame. I simply wanted a good story. To say that I was frantic is an understatement. I had planned for this eventuality. My light was close. My phone was close. I turned my phone on, went into my settings to turn on cellular service. The cellular service was on. I connected. I'm in. Thank you, God. This is me holding the trophy in Leagues Mobile. This is me showing the 56,000 points and the 50 million defense XP. So why does a high score say something different? The high scores didn't update, but put a lot of trust in my local infrastructure and also Jagex to achieve this, putting around 12 days of effort and progress on the line to achieve what no one else would. We got the trophy in the main game. We were the last and the least dragon. In my mind, there's something very poetic about being the last one. It's like finishing a marathon in last place. Everybody's packed up and gone home. But you finish it anyways because that's what you set out to do. That's what this sort of meant to me. I just bought 2 items for 10,000 points. I'm looking at the items to find the best GP point item, and I'm also not buying the top item multiple times or as many times as I can. Slowly filled up the inventory with the best GP point ratio. Eventually I got the inventory filled and now I'm going to the Grand Exchange. I put all the offers in for 53.2 mil. Some of these sold right away and I got more GP than I expected. I didn't end up changing these offers around and they all did sell for these prices eventually. We made 37 mil and I left these offers in for as long as it took.